Functions of the nervous system and the endocrine system. Controls the entire body, directs all chemical reactions, electrical signals, and all stimulation. If the nervous system shuts down, all systems shut down, power off, but does not work alone. It has a partner, the endocrine system. The nervous system controls the body through sensory and motor perception, electrical and chemical means to the cells. Endocrine system, chemical secretions and hormones, ductless glands for communication. Both work together to maintain the internal environment of the body. The first function is sensory input, so it detects the stimulus, information gathered by sensory receptors about internal and external changes, integration, processing information, interprets the sensory input, motor output, regulation of bodily functions, activation of effector organs, muscle and glands, produces a response, division of the nervous system. The central nervous system is the brain and spinal cord, integration and command center. Peripheral nervous system is sensory and motor. All other nerves, its paired spinal and cranial nerves carry messages to and from the CNS. ANS is part of the PNS. CNS, brain and spine, protects by skull and vertebrae, issues commands, interneurons in the gray matter of spinal cord. PNS has two functional functions: sensory effort division. Somatic effort fibers convey impulses from skin, skeletal muscles, and joints. Visceral effort fibers convey impulses from visceral organs, so that's inside your body. Motor effort division transmits impulses from the CNS to the effector muscles. Somatic motor division info to skeletal muscles. Visceral motor ANS. Dermatomes are skin zones innervated by sensory branch of spinal nerves, 31 spinal nerves, 8 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral, 1 coccygeal. Sensory division to the CNS. From sensory organs, signals from skin, muscle, bones, joints, signals from thoracic, stomach, urinary bladder. Motor division from CNS to effectors, carries out response to skeletal muscle, voluntary, involuntary control, involuntary or somatic reflexes. Motor division. Visceral division signals to glands and muscles, unconscious control. Automatic involuntary nervous system, ANS, automatic, regulates smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, and glands. Two functional subdivisions: sympathetic, flight or fight; parasympathetic, rest and digest. Neurons, nerve cells, specialized characteristic, longest living cell, consists of 3 parts, named after the direction they transmit impulses. Also are considered uni, bi, and multipolar. Transmits nerve impulses. There are 3 types: sensory, interneurons, and motor, classified in the direction that they transmit impulses. 2 principal cell types: neurons, excitable cells that transmit electrical signals, neuroglial or glial cells, supporting cells. Sensory afferent transmits impulses from sensory receptors towards the CNS. Interneurons, association neurons, shuttle signals through CNS pathways. Most are entirely within the CNS. Motor effort carries impulses from CNS to effectors. Structural classification of neurons. 3 types: multipolar, 1 axon, several dendrites, most abundant motor neurons and interneurons. Bipolar, 1 axon, 1 dendrite, extremely rare. Unipolar, single short process that has 2 branches. Peripheral process, more distal branch, often associated with the sensory receptor. Central process, branching entering the CNS. Cell body. Biosynthetic center of the neuron called a soma or neurosoma. Spherical nucleus with large nucleolus. Well-developed Golgi apparatus. ER called Nissl bodies. Mitochondria around the nucleus produces ATPs. There are 2 processes, dendrites and axon. Bundles of processes are called, in the CNS is called tracts, and PNS is called nerves. Dendrites are the receivers. Short, tapering, and diffusely branched receptive input region of the neuron, conveying electrical signals towards the cell body as the graded potentials. Branching tentacles receives impulses or stimuli. Axons, one axon per cell arising from the axon hillock. Long axons, nerve fibers. Occasional branches, axon collaterals, send the impulses to the next cell. Conduct, regulate nerve impulses wrapped in fibrous connective tissue, the endoneuron, like insulation on electrical cord. End of the axon terminals stimulate the neuromuscular junction. Axons, numerous terminal branches, knob-like axon terminals, synaptic nodes, secretory region of the neurons, release neurotransmitters to excite or inhibit other cells, cytoplasm, axoplasm, and membranes, the axonema, conducting region of the neuron, generates and transmits nerve impulses, axon potentials away from the cell body. The myelin sheath, 20% protein, 80% lipid, sheath around most long or large diameter axons. Its functions is to protect and electrically insulate the axon, increase the nerve impulse transmission. Production is called myelination from infancy to adolescence. In PNS contains and is wrapped in the Schwann cells wrapped around the neurolemma, the outer layer. The myelin in the PNS Schwann cells wrap many times around the axon. The myelin sheath concentric layers of the Schwann membrane. Their neurolemma is peripheral bulge of the Schwann cell cytoplasm. The nodes of Ranvier are unmyelinated, myelin-shaped gaps that are between adjacent Schwann cells, sites where axons can emerge. Unmyelinated. Thin nerve fibers are unmyelinated. One Schwann may enclose 15 or more unmyelinated axons. Nerve impulses move slower. Neurolemma is called a mesoaxon. Myelin sheaths in the CNS formed by process of the oligodendrocytes, not the whole cells. Notes of Ranvier are present. No neurolemma. Thinnest fibers are unmyelinated.